Hello and welcome everybody from all over the world. This is Davies Chirwa live in the podcast studio for Channel ATV, and I have a special guest, Miss Thandi Chirwa.
I'm so glad to be here today. I'm excited and I'm just ready to answer these questions.
Oh my goodness. I've never seen anybody who's so excited to answer questions, because a lot of times when you're about to answer somebody some questions, it's always like, I'm not ready, you know?
Yeah.
But you're excited.
Yes, I am.
Just to start with, you look lovely, by the way. I like your hair. I like your outfit.
Black and white.
Yeah, this is kind of like, we didn't talk about this, but we just happened to match.
To match.
So why don't you, for the sake of, obviously I know you, but for the sake of our viewers, why don't you introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and what's going on in your life?
All right, so my name is Thandi Chirwa. I am currently 14 years old, born in January. I'm a Capricorn. And so I was born to Africans, so I've got the African flavor, you know. It's always great, you know.
Oh, here we go.
The African community is amazing, honestly, and we have a very nice community, and it's just fun to come together for our events. And I grew up here in Washington, so I'm used to the rain, used to the cold, and I've just made a lot of friends here, a lot of family here, and so I just enjoy it. I enjoy being a part of clubs, being a part of leadership, and just enjoying life as it comes.
Okay,
yeah,
enjoying life as it comes.
Yes.
Are you excited? Are you looking forward to going back to Africa one of these days and embrace what Africa has to offer?
I really do. I hope to, see the rest of my family, me, my grandma, and of course I know them, but just to see them face to face and be able to put my arms around them is just something that I'm really looking forward to.
Nice. So what makes Thandi to be so excited about life and everything else? I mean, every time people see you, you're excited and
bubbly.
You're very bubbly and optimistic and all that. So what makes you be that kind of a person?
I'm just a person that likes to be nice to everybody, and so I just try to accept people and just work with what I've got. You know, you can't change a person. You can't make someone change for you. So I just try to embrace people as they are, and so I just like to just see what's going on and be able to make sure that I put myself in other people's situations and try to help out as much as I can with other people, try to be in leadership and work with the community and just do the best I can, because we're not here for very long. So I'd love to just make the best I can, leave a mark, and just have fun while I'm doing it.
Okay, very well said. So you mentioned one word that stuck out for me. You talked about leadership.
Yes.
And you've been a leader for the most part of your life, actually. And coming out of middle school, you were the student body president, right?
Yes. In my first year of middle school, I was a senator. So, and then I ran for president, and I ran against 4 other people.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had to do your campaign. That was kind of weird, actually. If you don't mind, I can share with the audience, because you didn't tell us that you're running for office, right?
Yeah.
And you did your own campaign, and then you told us after the fact.
And
I hope that no parent has to go through that, because that was a lot of excruciating moments for us to sit on the edge of our seats waiting to find out whether you're going to win or not. But that was by the grace of God, that was very successful and interesting.
Yeah, it was fun.
So congratulations for doing that.
Thank
you.
You.
What are some of the challenges that you had, or even some of the success that you had while you're being a leader in school?
So during the actual running, it was very intimidating when I found out who was running. I almost switched to vice president because I lost a little confidence. I saw, they're popular, maybe I won't get this. But then
you cannot be talking about popular, because if there's anybody who's popular, you are. So that should not be a problem.
That's what most people say. Yeah.
You like to use the word
well known. Because popular has a stigma that you're one-sided, that you're
See, I'm African. Any word for us means the same. Popular, well-known is the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
It is the same thing.
But you're right. There's a
stigma.
There's a stigma that goes with the term. So there are some of the kids, I've seen you myself working with kids that are coming from underserved communities. You are a minority yourself. So what do you think, what empowers you, instead of you going back and fall back and say, I'm a minority, I don't have a lot of things to do or share with others as some of the folks in the community. What motivates you to move forward?
Something that motivates me is definitely just being able to impact other people, whether it's picking up the trash or just asking someone how their day is. It's really helpful. And sometimes when people ask me, I'm just wow, because it really does touch your heart when people see things. And so I just try to keep my faith. I am I believe in God, and so I just want to do the best and follow what He has set out for me. And so I just try to be the best person I can be.
Right. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So give me an example of just one situation in school when you were faced with some kind of injustice and how you overcame that type of a situation, if there's any.
Okay, so not necessarily a direct.
Yeah, injustice.
But, yes.
Yeah.
So I am Black or African, and so I am seen as different, and it is very annoying to deal with because a lot of people at my school are of color.
Right.
And so people are always amazed to see that, oh, I'm doing journalism, oh, I'm getting good grades, oh, I'm really good at my projects, I'm good at my schoolwork, because I am not
a typical,
a typical
teenager they would expect.
Yes.
And you've been very, very good in school. You always maintain your grades, and we're proud to let everybody know that you've maintained your 4.0 GPA, right?
Yeah.
So how important is education to you?
Education is very important. I feel like it's the thing, you get to decide what happens to you if you follow through with your education. And of course, life isn't all planned out, but education, you can kind of take it to your hands. Like you can go to college and study math, you can study science, and then you go and you pursue your career. And so education is of course important, and it's also an opportunity to learn to work with others and to learn to follow directions and to learn to be observant. And so education is very important to me. I feel like I want to grow up and be a good person, have a good career, and be able to support my family. And so education is definitely the number one focus. Right. Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, I think you were, I can't remember how old you were, but you did, I found this drawing in your room, which was the type of schools you wanted to go to, which were like the Ivy League schools. And what do you think about that? What was that project like?
So I was an AVID, and so it only continued for 1 year in middle school, but it was a really good program. We learned we did a lot of presentations, research. We had to like present our things in front of the whole class. And of course we were a small class, but it really was a good thing. And she was a difficult teacher. A lot of people didn't like her because she also was cooking. So she was seen as harsh, but she was a really good teacher, and that class was amazing. And so we did a project on what college you want to go to and what career you want. And so my project was on Harvard. And so I made like a little Harvard poster. My color scheme was red, black, and white. Yeah, and so at the time I wanted to pursue journalism, and I still do, but I want to major in either surgery or lawyer, and then to become a criminal
law.
Yeah, criminal law.
You want to start criminal law?
And then I want to minor in journalism.
Minor in journalism. Yeah. Okay, I like that, because that's one of the things that we talked about when it comes to education and really lining up careers that are going to not to be too far apart, because then you have some sense of direction. You've been you grew up in this house where your mom is doing she's a fashion designer, she's doing all these amazing things, and then your dad also. Myself, I do a little bit of what I can do. So is that pressure for you to uphold to those standards?
Definitely. My mom has amazing taste in dressing, and so I do feel pressure every time I have to walk down those stairs, because I know she's gonna be like, yo, you need to fix that. And so I just try to see what she does, see the combinations, and then go from there. And so, as well as you both are very intelligent and you're African. And so being African on its own has a whole different set of standards, and so it is very difficult.
What are those standards in
it's
your
like
mind?
Being smart, staying on track, stuff like that. And then of course there are the Black stereotypes of being less intelligent, being ghetto, stealing.
But then you're the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great answer. So you've been doing interviews since you can remember. I don't know. You were like what? I don't know.
Somewhat. I don't know.
You've grown up looking and meeting different celebrities, right?
Yes.
So what is it like, a child like you having this type of exposure? Because I wish I had your kind of exposure when I was like your age.
Yeah.
Because the first time I saw a celebrity, I don't know how old I was, but it was like later in life.
Yeah.
But you grew up in those households where, different celebrities walk in and out of your home. What has that been, according to your own perspective?
It definitely forced me to mature faster.
Right.
And of course I was always mature. I've always been told that I'm a mature child.
Right.
And so it made me have to present myself well, make sure everything is right, everything's on track. And so it definitely has been a blessing getting to see how many different people can come together and just meeting football players, basketball players, and like all types of things. And it's just cool to see how the community works as a whole. And yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity, and I wish that everybody could see the same things I see.
So that's why we try to create all these opportunities for kids in college, sometimes even high school kids, to come and really get a chance to witness what we do through media, because that provides different opportunities. Now, so who are some of the celebrities that you've enjoyed to the opportunity to work with?
John Stamos, Anthony Anderson.
Who's John Stamos?
John Stamos.
You're speaking like everybody knows everybody.
So John Stamos, if you've seen Full House, it's an amazing show on Nickelodeon. It's pretty old now, but he's Uncle Jesse. He was funny. So was Anthony Anderson. Both of them.
And Anthony Anderson is from
Blackish. Yes, he's the father. And so I've also met Jermaine Curse, who's a football player. Jenna Ortega, who's a Disney actress. Lizzie Green, also a Disney actress as well. And so I've just met like a lot of influencers, and like Henry Winkler, I think I mentioned. He is like
he's a producer of MacGyver, actually. I grew up on MacGyver. So to actually get a chance to work with him and see him and talk to him, that's been amazing. But a lot of people think it's easy, but it's not easy. So talk about some of the preparations that you have to go through to be able to deliver such type of quality of work.
Okay, so I have to first hear about the event, when it is going to take place, whether I know it or not. I have to like do the research to understand what's going on, or you'll explain it to me, and then I have to construct questions, and sometimes you have to cater to some people. Like if we're going to a fashion event, I have to set different questions aside for like the CEO, and then have to set questions aside for the people that are in it, and then
because there's different levels and different personalities.
For like the audience as well. And so it's amazing. Like the Global Beauty Awards, those are amazing. I've gone twice. This is the next year will be the third.
Who did you get to interview there?
I got to interview Miss USA.
That's a big
both
deal. 2017
and 2018.
Oh my
and so
goodness.
Yes, it was amazing. They're so sweet. A lot of the pageant girls are so sweet.
And I remember you complained about interviewing some of the tight ends actually for the Seattle Seahawks, because they are too tall for you at that time, because you had to almost lift the microphone.
Yes, I had to like. I was short.
Because they're so tall. Like some of those guys are 6'5", 6'8", and stuff like that. It's an amazing opportunity for you.
I was like 5'3", 5'2" at the time, so I had to like.
Right, and most people don't know. They think you're just doing interviews, but you get to learn yourself, right? So some of the challenges that's huge across the nation. Is addiction of opioids, right?
Yes.
And you had the opportunity to talk to Brendan. Who's Brendan? And what did you guys talk about?
And so he was in 13 Reasons Why, season 1. And so 13 Reasons Why is a show that focuses on such sensitive topics such as rape, sexual abuse, suicide, and all of that. And so he was one of the characters that actually ended up getting killed early. And so he was at We Day, California, and so he was partnering with Walgreens to talk about opioids and
he's one of the ambassadors for Walgreens.
Proper dispose, because sometimes people will find them, and it's not a good situation.
So just speak briefly a little bit about what you learned from that.
Okay, so I've had background, of course, because of school, and so I've learned about drugs and alcohol, and so I had to do a project on oxycodone, which is a painkiller, but it's also used as a very hard drug to get off of course. And so we just got to learn about how easy it is to slip into addiction. And so getting rid of those things that are too strong or that are too difficult to manage around kids is definitely something that we need to do, especially if you're having problems with like self-control, and just to make sure that you're in the right state of mind and just have no option. Like you don't want to be
access whatsoever.
No access that you don't.
But the most important thing was that at that time you're dealing with the disposal aspect of it, which is how to get rid of it, and then educating the people to make sure that there's awareness of that. So that was a fun project.
Yeah, because normally people just flush them in the toilet, which isn't a good thing for our sewage. And so you can go to Walgreens and places that will dispose them properly. How
have you taken advantage of social media, and what do you think could be the disadvantage and also the advantage of having social media?
Okay, so social media is of course seen as like a brain rotter, like TV, and
Right.
But a disadvantage of it is definitely that you can get sucked into it because you're like, okay, like let me just check this real quick,
More
and
like
the
an
next thing you know,
addiction, yeah.
yes, time passes.
Mhm.
As well as social media and using your phone can actually cause you symptoms of ADHD, and so
Right.
it is difficult to make sure that you are balancing yourself with reading and writing and making sure that you're journaling and stuff like that.
Right.
But the advantage is that you get to meet and interact with a lot of different people that you don't necessarily think you would.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my friends have started, like we've started texting on social media, and then from there our friendship picks up, and then we
Right.
become a lot closer. And
So
so,
you have your own little
Yeah.
support system
Yes.
within your friends and stuff.
yeah.
See, the way I grew up, if you want to meet somebody, you leave your house, walk through the doors, and go and meet somebody. But you
Yeah.
guys are in your bedrooms and laughing and stuff. Sometimes I look at you on your phone and I'm like,
What is she doing?
what just happened in this world, you know?
But then also it's a lot scarier now because there's also a lot
Yeah.
of things happening in the world, a lot of
Yeah.
danger. So
Yeah.
parents generally, or my parents generally don't, they have to be cautious, and it's
Yeah.
not something fun, and so it just makes it not worth it to have
Yeah.
to go through all of these steps just to do one thing.
Right.
So yeah.
What would you say to encourage other kids that are struggling, whether it's mentally or physically, or even just looking for opportunity? What would you say to encourage them?
I would say just find what you like to do, and of course having mental struggles is a difficult thing, and it is a common thing, which is so sad. But I think you just gotta find the people that are right for you, find whatever you like doing, whether it's writing or reading or
Yeah.
playing outside or going with your friends somewhere shopping,
Yeah.
and whatever like you
Sounds like you're describing your mom.
whatever
I didn't say that.
whatever you get your kick out of, and just
Right.
find your inspiration. And of course, my inspiration is my family, and my parents have come here from Africa, and so I have to take the extra step to make sure that I make their journey, their struggles worth it. And so that's why I'm so focused, and so I try so hard to maintain everything I'm doing, just because my parents really did work hard. They've gone through a lot of things, having to start over, and so I just want to make sure that I can eventually give back to them and say thank you for everything you've done for me.
Right.
And so of course it all comes back to God. I am Christian, and so I love to pray, journal, read the Bible, of course, and just try to strengthen my relationship. And of course, times go off track, I stop, I struggle. It's just a part of being a human
Yeah,
being.
it's part
And
of the
so
journey,
yeah, and so I'm just working on that, working on my friendships with my friends, and just getting these relationships to a good point where I am comfortable, where my education is going in the right direction, and just making sure that I get to my goal, which of course is a good career, a good family.
Well,
So,
Thandi, very well said. You know what they say? Put God first,
Yes.
and everything else will fall into place, right? Put God first, and everything else will fall into place. So I want to thank you for coming into the studio, Thandi. For those of you out there who want to support Thandi, please follow her journey. May God bless you and continue thriving, and you make us so proud. You make the community proud, and we can't wait to see what follows up in your life. So thank you, everybody, for listening to us live here from Channel A TV. And we want to just thank you and thank all the sponsors for just being, with us
Yes,
through and
through this
through,
journey,
So
yes.
through the struggles, through the success, through everything else
Yeah.
in between. So thank you so much, and we'll be right back. And we'll see you next time.